But look what I did find. And then be careful and walk over here. Hi guys! Hello! It's okay. Hi. Hello. Hi, pretty. What are you guys over here doing? What are you guys over here doing? They're cute. He says to go. I'm gonna go. Cows told me to leave. They kind of freaked me out. I thought cows would have liked me, but okay. They were down that road. Do you see? Again, abandoned in the middle of nowhere. But look, actually found a historical marker, or as my mother likes to say, hysterical marker, which drives me nuts, and I love her. So this is the town of Dinero. It was settled in the year 1838 by farmers and ranchers. That's not really much of a surprise. And the town was first named Barlow after the local ferry operator. The townspeople were instrumental in organizing Live Oak County. 1856, they started a school by 1858. By about 1872, rumors of money, dinero, remember I was just talking about that in Spanish, buried here, led the town to change its name. A post office was established in 1885. Town buildings were moved a mile west in 1913 to be on a new rail line. In 1925, Dinero piped its first natural gas to Houston. Oil and gas continued to bolster its economy, and the local landmark is a hanging tree. Wasn't expecting that. 200 yards southwest. One famous resident was J. Frank Dobie, 1888 to 1964, and he is a Texas author. So that was probably that other historical marker that we went to, and I was like, well, what? What do they mean by hanging tree? I don't like that. That sounds ominous. I would assume that one, maybe. But when they say yards, it's like, I'm not British. Oh, or it could be like, I don't even know what direction I'm in. Not sure where the hanging tree officially is. I am looking southwest. Maybe they took it down, but I still think it's in this field. Little did I know, Dinero is a ghost town. So I did as much research as I could on where the hanging tree was, what it was for. The only thing I could really find is some local stories from people who live there, where around the 1850s there was a skirmish between a ranching family that was tied up and robbed by Mexican soldiers or Mexicans coming through. Again, this was around 1850, and so they needed to set up a place to hold court because they didn't have one at the time. But there's really no history of anything happening, but they did find human bones around the area that I was standing at some point in time. There's just very limited history. Also, I did not see this particular ruin that was taken in 2006, so it must have obviously fallen down. Keep in mind, my intention was abandoned and grave, so the fact that it took me to a hanging tree is a little troubling, but it is what it is. So my next point is I am in Pawnee. I'm in Pawnee. I'm in B County, or Beene County, as I like to say. Never been in B County, but look what I found. So we're gonna do some rando nodding, and look, remember how I mentioned stained glass windows in my last video? I'm kind of wondering if this is Pawnee Methodist Church, like a historical building, because it looks like it could be. So let's kind of investigate a little bit on this. I'm not seeing. Okay, so this is 6th Street, which is a lot different than the 6th Street in Austin. Thank goodness. So you can kind of see kind of what it looks like. Kind of give you guys a tour like around it. Look like that's behind. It looks pretty old though. So it's this little ramp. So it says mineral is that way, which is interesting. This is the delightful surprise. I love stained glass. I love red doors. It's really pretty. Looks like the little sign might light up. So let's set a point while we're here. Let's do it. All right, so in Pawnee, we are going to start here. I have a void point not too far from here. So we're gonna see where it goes. Remember how the theme still is abandoned. Which we're seeing a lot of. On our radius, we came across this abandoned house. I would love to walk up to it, but I just don't feel comfortable doing so. Especially there's like neighbors like right next to it, but you can still see like curtains in the window, and there used to be like a star up top, and there's lights and these old trees kind of right here that have been here for ages. And it looks like it's going to take us to the left, and there's the engagement center. That's also in our radius, which we'll come back to. Let's see where it's taking me. I think I passed it, so we're going to turn around. Okay, so it took me about 800 feet. If you'll notice, that's like the old abandoned house. I actually really love old post offices, so it took me here. I need to close my door here. That's also abandoned. I don't know what that used to be. It looks like it could have been like maybe like a car repair shop or something. I don't know, since you're like driving under that. But we'll take a look here. Zoom it out. Just very old feeling. Very neat. So we'll look at this abandoned building over here. Again, we're in Pawnee. You can kind of see through that window. Pretty. Man, the ants are just getting bigger out here. So that's it. I don't really want to go up and look through anything because I don't know if there's anybody in this other house like watching me, but it looks like it's wanting to fall down. It does. It kind of looks like an old general store from the front, to be honest. So I'll need to do some research to figure out what this could have been. Just lots of old trees. Lots of cactus back there. Quite the old post office. I was correct. In research after the fact, I did find this old photo of a car parked under it, and it used to be an old gas station. So I was right on the money with it being some sort of garage. It just felt like that. So thank you to Will Beauchamp for providing this picture. The history of Pawnee, it's said to come from a board with the inscription Pawnee that someone had nailed to a tree. Prior to the establishment of Beene County, an Irish family named Sullivan bought much of the land where Pawnee now stands. After a series of transfers, rancher W.J. Lott became owner of the land and split his spread into smaller parcels in the 1890s. Pawnee's first school was built in 1910, about the same time the first store opened. Pawnee prospered in the 1920s and at one time had 4 grocery stores, a physician, druggist, blacksmith, and garage. Oil was discovered in 1930. Pawnee's church history is more colorful than most Texas towns of its size. For a small town, Pawnee had Baptist, Catholic, Church of Christ, Swedish Lutheran, German Lutheran, Methodist, and Pentecostal congregations. A brick school was built in 1936, and the population reached its high water mark of 300, just as the United States was entering World War II. The post-war population was just 225 when the town was granted a post office around 1950, which you guys just saw. The town's businesses all closed prior to 1980. The population has declined from the 1990 census to 249 to the current 166 residents.